Hi, this is Neil Walters with Walters Marketing. In this video, I'd like to introduce you to a friend and mentor of mine named Mike Koenigs, and he will be interviewing Lee Richter. Lee is the marketing manager and the wife of a successful veterinary hospital, and they are talking about how they're going to market their veterinarian services to the public. So if you're a local businessman or doctor, I believe you and I will be able to sit down together and take what they do in this video and put it into practice in your business to bring you more success.
So I'm here today with Lee Richter, and she is here. We're doing a mastermind today, and I'm going to guide her through how to rapidly create content that can be used for marketing purposes, training purposes, actually create a product, and significantly increase the number of conversions that her business is able to make. So maybe for everyone, let's start out. Why don't you describe what your business is, who you do it for, and what this big challenge is that we're going to overcome with this exercise.
Sure, I'd be happy to. My business is a veterinary hospital. I have 2 veterinary hospitals. And what we're finding is people call in to ask us for advice. Maybe they're price shopping or advice shopping. And sometimes when they ask for advice, we're leaving on the table the opportunity to follow up with them. So in other words, if a client calls and says, my dog is having surgery, what kind of things do I need to know? What I'm seeing is we could actually send them a list of here's the top 10 things you need to know before your dog has surgery. And right now we're just telling them on the phone and hanging up and duplicating that over and over and over. And we're just giving it away. Yeah. And I'm realizing it would be really a lot nicer if we shared it with the audience that would appreciate it. Yep. And we get them into our funnel so that we can serve them even more even after their dog has surgery.
Right. Now there's another thing that you mentioned too, which is what's the difference between someone who calls in and then when they get to talk to your husband, who's the lead veterinarian? What's the difference in terms of conversions basically from calls to bookings?
Well, if they catch the front desk, depending on which call they're making, it could be anywhere from 10 to 20% conversion. However, if they get my husband Gary, it's usually around 90% or more conversion. Almost everyone who talks to Gary wants to come in and see Gary.
Okay. So for you, here's the opportunity, and now this is a veterinary example, so I'm going to put this in the context of 2 things. So either you could be doing this as a coach and a client, so if you're doing the Top Gun consulting and instant or traffic geyser certification program, this is one way to do this for other people. But also if you have your own business, the number one problem is usually the owner of the business knows all the stuff, is the keeper of the knowledge, and they convert like crazy. Okay, when you get to talk to the owner, they know how to convert. So the question is, how do we put the owner in front of every prospect all the time? And more importantly, how can we do this so it's not repeating over and over again? In other words, answering the same questions over and over. That's why we originally created the 10 by 10 by 4 process of answering the top 10 questions you get all the time, the top 10 should ask questions, which what you had told me is you are now either incentivizing or at least you got the front desk to at least track what the top questions are that are being asked.
We've done that on occasion for 30-day periods. What is the top question that the clients ask so that we can do education around those questions. So
right.
Yes, we've done
About
that.
how many questions are there that you've found, if you were going to guess, like if you're going to look at the vast majority, like kind of like the 65 to 80%?
Generally it's about somewhere between 15 and 20 different questions.
Great. Kind of fits in the 10 by 10 by 4,
it
right?
Does,
Top
yes.
10 should ask questions, or frequently asked questions, top 10 should ask questions. If you're not familiar with it, watch that video. Now, here's what I recommend you do, and it's a way to use this multicasting approach to simplifying how so you don't have to repeat this all the time. It's something we talked about during lunch. So I'm actually going to grab my whiteboard. I'll put it right here because I think the lighting will be better. So I'll walk this over here. And there we go. So when we teach the whole multicasting process, what I was telling Lee she should do, because her husband, he's a good talker, he knows how to teach. So if she would offer right now a live cast, either for free to her entire audience, that would be the live cast, and open it up so it's a live event. And we've already gone through some of the training, but we can do this as a Google Hangout, okay, which is free. And just to keep it simple, Lee, you can just work, and your husband could get in front of a webcam. It would be good enough. Now, if you do the fancier equipment, like you're going to take a tour of the studio, and if you haven't taken the video tour of our studios, We can get complicated and have fancy equipment, but if all you had is a webcam and your laptop, it's good enough. But what she will do is schedule, and I suggest that you schedule it for a week or two from today. Okay, so schedule that out, and you'll notify any people who have been past customers, future customers, and say, here's an opportunity to have a live Q&A session with Dr. What's your husband's name?
Dr. Gary Richter.
Yep, Dr. Gary Richter, and it'll be scheduled for an hour, for example. And during that time, Dr. Richter is going to get on and educate and train. He says, okay, here's a great opportunity, and Lee, you could be there to be the co-host if you need to. And what he's going to do is actually start answering questions. So you're going to go through your top 10, but you're also going to encourage at any time, go ahead and type in any other questions that you might have about your dog or about your cat. And just remember, your business isn't different. This will work for any business. So what's cool is this live cast is going to be taught the exact same way we've been teaching our training, which is because it's live, he's going to be performing for a live audience, answering the questions. It'll be up to you to kind of be a timekeeper and hopefully keep the questions to about 2 to 3 minutes each, ideally. Okay? And that way, if each one averages 3 minutes, how many questions would you be able to answer inside of an hour?
Anywhere between 10 and 15.
Yep, exactly. Even maybe 15 to 20. But let's just say 15 is our target. Okay? So with 15 of these, what is going to be able to happen is not only is this team between Lee and Gary going to be able to create some great content and educate and entertain and inform and engage a live audience, but every video now becomes something that can be traffic geysered out, so you can social cast. So this is social cast. The link to the live cast, both when you schedule it, before, so you can get more traffic, and after, to spread it out. But you can quickly download the video as soon as it's made. Okay, so there's a download link, and we have step-by-step videos on exactly how to do that. And that one video can be chopped up into 15 to 20 podcast episodes. Okay, so now that's the podcast. And all you do, Lee, is put what we call a front-end bumper, like a little sequence. So it'd be like a little animated sequence, a little bit of music. What's the name of the hospital again?
Holistic Veterinary Care.
Okay, so Holistic Veterinary Care. And you can get free music on YouTube. YouTube has free production music you can use. So it'll be like a little animated. You've got a logo, right? So here's your little logo. And then you also get something called the lower third. That's that little graphic that goes across the bottom. So you can get the lower third, and it'll say Dr. Gary Richter, founder of the Holistic Veterinary Care Center. But what's important is every single one of these episodes, you're making 15 to 20 per hour that will never have to be made again. And not only can you give this away to help create traffic, you can traffic geyser out each episode, which is going to be a little advertisement, a little marketing piece that you're sharing with the world. Now you've got your own podcast show. Just imagine if you did this only once every 2 weeks. Okay? You've got enough for an episode a day, okay, which is massive visibility. It's massive traffic. And if just after a year, okay, let's just take that, let's just say you take 2 months off, you did a total of 20 of these over a period of a year. You know, imagine the amount of content that you've got. Imagine the amount of information, because what's that? Yep, this gets traffic geysered all over the place. It's everywhere. You built a giant web of content. But the part that I think I'm really excited about for you, can I have the little cleaning thing here? I'm going to wipe off the whiteboard. Thanks for holding. That's Cal holding the camera right now. He's doing a great job. There's two other things that I would throw out from a business opportunity perspective. Okay, the first one of which is, in case you don't know this already, it's Lee's daughter, Lee and Gary's daughter, who wrote 4 books in 3 months. Okay, look at those. Okay, what about taking all of these podcasts? They're going to be transcribed into chapters So Lee is suddenly able, and Gary can publish, I believe, if you just did 20 to 25 questions, you could do a book a month. Now you're building a library of content that establishes Gary and Lee already as the obvious experts and the visible experts. Now you've got books, okay? And all this content can be put into a membership site. And you're saying, how could that possibly be put into a membership site and charge money for that when you're giving it away? Here's the thing. Most people don't look, okay? You're going out and you're finding this information all over the place, but if it's all in one place, people will buy it. So here's what I was telling Lee that she can do during lunch. So I'm going to call this the membership site. And oh, by the way, there is a membership site marketing machine that comes with your Traffic Geyser 2.0 subscription, so you can do this too in your business or for clients. But every one of those little videos can all be put inside the membership site. And what the person answering the phone can do at Lee and Gary's veterinary hospital office is someone calls up and asks a couple questions. And at the end just say, hey, look, right now if you'd like, I will give you a free 7-day subscription to our membership site. Okay? Why don't you just give me your name, your email address, and your phone number, and I'll get you signed up for that right away, and you can watch as many videos as you want. Okay? That's pretty cool, isn't it? So she can do a 7-day free trial, okay, in the membership site, which is going to create some great loyalty. Now, depending on how you ended up wanting to do this, if you, say, went to another membership site system that'd be a little more sophisticated, you could give away a free 7-day trial, and after the free 7 days, a pop-up message would show up inside and say, hey, if you'd like to continue this, it's only $7 a month. Okay? $7 is a way for someone to say yes. And look, now Lee and Gary's business is based in Oakland, California. So they have got a local business, but now they're an international business. They're educating, teaching, and training to an international community. So you're able to do transactions anywhere, anytime, any place in the world. But more importantly, when you looked at that entire map we just did, they could be producing 12 books a year using this model. But here's what I would say. What if, during the call, Lee, you're also able to say, by the way, my husband just published a brand new #1 best-selling book. It's called 35 Questions About blah, 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 whatever it is. You could do a dog book, a cat book, a parrot book, a blah, blah, blah book, or whatever it is. But I'd love to send that to you. If you'd give us your home address, I'll have a copy sent to you right away. Now, we know that, again, this isn't the ideal example here. I've got some of our other books, maybe around the corner here. Find one. There we go. Look at that. All of our books on Amazon, you know how much they cost us per copy?
$3.
Not even that. $2.25, okay? So I can order 100 copies of these things. Nice full color cover. So, I don't know about you, Lee, but do you think it'd be a good deal? Someone calls up, and if you could get their home address and their phone number and their email address, would you have the person at the front desk, they'd just have a stack of them, they'd have some envelopes, and they would immediately enter that person's phone number and their email address and their physical address inside your instant customer counter, your CRM, press a button, print off a label, so now they're in the autoresponder, and they just have an envelope, take the sticky label, put it on the envelope, take a stamp. Now, mailing a book like this ain't going to cost you $1. It's part of their job. So drop it in there, and ahead of time, either you or your husband could sign it really fast with that person's name. Hi, Lori, I can't wait to talk to you again and help you out at the blah, blah, blah. So the whole idea is, for under $5, you've got a relationship, and let's just review all the value that came out of this. #1 problem Lee and her entire business has is the people at the front desk are converting 20% of the time. When the call goes to the husband, to Gary, it's 90% of the time. So she can quadruple the conversion rate by giving every prospect Gary on demand. She can also create a massive amount of content, podcasts, and content that gets distributed with Traffic Geyser, as well as the livecast, which is going to give her a tremendous amount of search engine visibility. Okay. The next thing is a podcast episode a day that's only 3 minutes. Okay, filled with valuable content. The ability to probably write, again, on the safe, simple side, you could do 3 to 4 a year. If you're busy and someone's assigned to this, which is not rocket science, you could do 1 a month. Okay? What would it be like to have 12 best-selling books in the next year? Even 3, right? And you can use the run the chart strategy that we've been teaching that works every time. 5 books in a row. It's not an accident. Look at everyone who's in the community who's doing this as well. But now you've also got the ultimate way to position Gary as the expert and the authority in the minds, and they build up massive reciprocity, because who do you think that person, next time they're going to think about a veterinary hospital or your business or anyone's business, who are they going to think to call? The person they talked to on the phone who did blah, 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 or the one that gave them a free podcast, a free membership site, a free book? Okay? How often do you throw away books? Okay? How often do you throw away business cards or forget to even call or remember where it is? You don't throw them away, okay? Especially one that would happen to be signed, okay? And how long does it take for your husband to go through there and, okay?
Brilliant.
All right, so what do you think of that? And let's talk a little bit about, you've got a team. Oops, I just sat on your card, so you come on over here. Why don't you summarize what you heard and how you think you can use this in your business after going through this whole deal? I'm putting you on the spot.
I love this. What I heard is I can service my clients a lot better by paying attention to what they need and giving them more than they ever imagined. By following up with resources, things to support them, and things for free so that it's not going to cost them anything. They could just automatically say yes. It helps me serve them better.
Right. So let's just look through this. So right now what we went through is let's say you've got the book.
Right.
Okay. You have the free videos that you can give away, and you have essentially replicated your husband,
Yes.
who is the best closer in your business. So my question for you is, how many extra appointments do you think you would close as a result of having this in place?
At the front desk, we could increase it at least 50%.
Okay. So if we were going to do the math on this right now,
1,000 phone calls.
okay, so we've got 1,000 phone calls,
Right now, we're getting 200 new clients.
200 new clients.
So if we were to increase it 50%, it would be another 100 clients.
Yep, okay. So, and let's look at the average value of a customer to you right now is
$200.
$200. So 200 times $200 is, we've got 2 times 4, so that's $40,000.
$40,000.
Okay, that's $40,000 per month. Okay, so if we added another 100, we're talking about adding another $20,000 per month.
Yes.
Okay, so for that, if I said to you, number one, so that's
$240,000 a year.
okay, right?
That's a whole business.
Right. So basically, we can increase your revenue by basically $240,000 a year. Now, if I came to you and I said, look, not to mention the fact that we've got other opportunities, which is selling your info product.
True.
So, you know, if you took out of that 1,000 and we suddenly had even 10% of those, which would be 100 people per month times $7. Okay, so that's an extra $700, and that's month one. And if we could do that every month,
That's in the membership site.
that's the membership site.
So we
That's
would
right.
give a 7-day free trial, and then they would convert to members at $7 a month.
Yep.
Okay.
So the first month would be 700, next month would be 1,400, and of course there's always going to be some people who are going to leave. Third month is 2,100. Okay. Fourth month is going to be 2,800, et cetera, et cetera. So over a period of 12 months, we've got another real business here, because 12 times you're basically 1,000 people at 700. You'd be up to around $7,000 in monthly revenue. So if you start totaling this up, you know, we've at least got ourselves another $30,000 to $40,000 a year business there. Plus, there's going to be some other benefits. So I guess let's just say that there's going to be another $40,000. So if I came to you as a consultant and I said, look, Lee, what I will do with you is every week or once a month, we will do 2 live casts. We will produce your podcast, which means we're going to take all those questions, divide them up into chunks for you, and produce, let's even say we're going to be conservative and do 1 book every other month with that information. So the deliverable then would be 2 shows that we'll produce, the podcasts, delivering these little 3-minute chunks, and 1 book every other month.
Got it.
Okay.
So, and the podcast would be 15 to 20 questions that we take out and make small little.
About 3 minutes each, and you knew you'd have enough content for like a mini podcast a day.
Okay.
All right. And once a week, once every other week, we'd spend 4 hours together. That's what I would estimate in terms of just showing up and doing the production. Maybe 2 to 3, up to 4. Okay. The rest of it I'd take care of. And by leveraging this technology, can benefit from adding more content, maybe creating a book, maybe creating that podcast show, and being able to convert and sell using livecasts, as well as building a library of resources and tools that essentially replicates the owner of the business. Okay.